All right, let's get started. Welcome everybody to the Merritt Library. So nice to have you here. I want to first acknowledge that we are gathered this evening on the traditional and unceded territory of the Inglecapan and the Sioux people. We offer our respect and our gratitude for the opportunity to work, learn, and enjoy each other's company this evening on this land. We're delighted to have Al Horne back in the library. How long has it been, Al? Like 15 years?
It's been a few years, yeah. Quite a few,
years,
I'd say, at least 8 years or
so. So some of you probably were at Al's previous lectures. He did a series on Alexander the Great, and he did one on ancient Greece. And I understand they started off as just a few, and then they grew into like 3 years worth of lectures. So
10.
Not sure if that's going to happen this
10
time.
years.
Yeah.
10 years. Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
10 years.
10
yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I was a young man back when I was in the youth of the earth, you know.
Anyway, Al's taken a kind of different direction with this series of talks. He's put an absolute ton of research into, as he always does, into his presentations. He's taken on a very ambitious task to try and cover such an extensive period of time in 5 lectures, but he's confident he's going to give it a good shot. But I'll let him explain how it is that he's decided to take this path into a more scientific direction based on his lifetime love of science. So over to you, Al.
Thanks. First thing to do is thank people, okay? When you're in doubt, thank people. I've been trying to figure out, ever since I decided to do this crazy thing, how I was going to start it. I haven't totally made up my mind, but it's all going to unfold and be just fine in the next hour and a half. So first thing, I thank Claire. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't be here. This wouldn't be happening. So I'll tell you in a minute what happened 2 years ago, but I want to finish and also thank you, because if it weren't for you, I know it's a cliche, but if it weren't for you, this wouldn't be happening either. And weren't for the audience and the library people. I don't know about you guys, but everywhere I go, every library I've ever been in, I instantly feel at home. I don't know if you guys feel like that at all, but I go in the library and I somehow think, these are kindred spirits. They've got to be, you know? And just looking at all the books, I mean, I can't help it. I love knowledge. That's what I do for fun, is I learn stuff, believe it or not. That's not crazy as it sounds. So, I like libraries, and I'm really happy to be here, and that's my way of saying, hey librarians, thank you very much for being here and for everything. You're really nice people. And Denise, like I couldn't have done it without her. I know nothing about electronics. She does all that stuff. She takes care of everything. I just sit around and learn stuff and get crabby when things don't go right, and she's the one that goes around and makes everything work. So thanks a lot, hon. Do you guys ever read The Wind in the Willows? How many people read The Wind in the Willows?
Several times.
Okay. I love that book. I love that book. Now, who do you think my favorite character? Remember, there's Ratty. Remember, there's Ratty. There's Mr. Badger. I liked him. He was cool. Like he was tough. Like my grandfather, but he was cool. So I like Mr. Badger. My favorite character was Mr. Toad.
Yes.
Remember Mr. Toad,
Yes.
right? And the reason I'm thinking of Mr. Toad is that Mr. Toad got all these crazy ideas, remember? First it was like motor cars or caravans or trains, right? He was always going off in these tangents. And that's what I want to thank Denise for. I've been kind of a Mr. Toad, and I've been getting all these crazy ideas. I want to do this, I want to do that. Let's take up, when I decided to take up fishing, which is the reason we moved up here, she bought her own boat, rod, rope, the whole bit, was out there with me. So what I'm trying to say is thank you very much. And if it weren't for you, well, I wouldn't have had nearly such an interesting life. So, you probably, I'm going to have to sit down every now and then, or I might. I'm not used to being on my feet. Anyway, where was it? Okay, I got a piece of paper that I was waving about, and, oh, there it is, to remember what to say. Oh yeah, so, what's this going to be? Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the history of life on Earth. And what I was going to do first was I was going to start up at the beginning. Now what happened was, I walked in here 2 years and 3 months ago. You don't happen to, do we have that piece of paper in here?
It's there, baby.
Oh, shoot. Oh, this is it? This is a historical document. So Claire was over there,
Poor
minding her own business. This was a library thing where people were meeting. Okay, you can see it. So this is February or January of 2023. It seems like a long time ago. But anyway, I walked in, fell into a conversation with Claire, and the next thing you know, I've seized this piece of paper and written this out. And that is that. So the poor woman is standing there. I don't know, she's probably never met me before in my life, right? She doesn't know who I am. And this maniac comes in and he goes like this, and he says, "There!"
And it was just spewing out of you, Al, just spewing.
Sort of like now.
So I don't know, I'm apologizing. I don't know what happened. Something came over me. It was just like, you asked me a question, something started to come out of my mouth. It was like a dam broke. And then after that, okay, how many people have seen The Matrix? Okay. Remember that part of The Matrix where Neo has that sliver in his mind? It's like a sliver in your mind, Neo. Do you remember that? Jeez. Okay, anyway, there was a sliver in my mind. I thought these allusions to movies were really going to be a winner, but they're not working out. Anyhow, I came in, talked to Claire, wrote that out. That put the idea in my head that, well, after that I couldn't get rid of it. And then the other precipitating thing was, I was in here one day, and I said to Denise, "Go away and come back in an hour, please." So I got this little book. I didn't see it there today. It's by a guy called Andy Knoll. He's a good writer, and it's about the history of the Earth. So I sat down, and I thought, well, I wonder if I've learned anything. Excuse me, I'll talk to you. I wonder if I learned anything. So I read this book. I said, give me an hour. So I took an hour, sat at the table right over there. Denise came back an hour later, and I stopped reading. I'd read 68 pages. And I suddenly realized that I knew everything in the book. That threw me. I couldn't believe it. I thought, how could this be? 68 pages and I already know this stuff? But I didn't know a lot of it, you know, a few months before that. So that's what got me thinking, well, maybe I could do it. So the question is, why would I want to, right? Did you guys notice that when we were doing Alexander that I had a tendency to occasionally digress? If you think about it, what did I digress into? Every time Alexander came to a new place with new animals or new mountains or new fish, I remember when he got to the Caspian Sea, he was supposed to interact with a bunch of barbarians there and do some stuff that I was more interested in the Caspian Sea sturgeon, the world's largest freshwater fish, right? So, you see what I'm getting at? I've always wanted to do this, but when asked, like I was asked by Deborah and some other people, well, what are you going to do next? I said, well, I don't think I'm going to do anything. I said, I'd like to, I'm not going to do Rome. I don't like the Romans particularly. I think they're a cross between Nazi Germany and the United States right now. I mean, I admire them. But I didn't want to do Rome. I love the Greeks. I don't love the Romans. What else could I do? Religion, that was interesting, but I kind of went through that back in the 90s, got it out of my system, and been there, done that. So what was I going to do? I couldn't think of anything. I said, what I really want to do is talk about science. But I can't talk about science because I'm not a scientist, right? Like, I take that kind of stuff seriously. I don't think people should get up and flap their lips if they don't know what they're talking about. Call me old-fashioned, right? I'm just an old redneck, I guess, but I mean, I don't think you should be standing up here BSing. So I thought, well, I can't do it. Now, I did have a bit of science at university, and I've been interested in it, studying all my life, but I don't have the degrees. And I also have to tell you that I'm not at home with chemistry and physics. So, this tonight is going to be mostly about a little tiny bit of physics. And just please understand, I'm only telling you what the books have told me. I do not have a deep understanding of physics or chemistry. But I hope I've got enough, Yes, dear, you're making little motions. Telling me to get on with it? Okay, thanks. Okay, so that's why I'm doing it, because I'm interested in it. And I don't know if you can see this table or not, but what I started doing a couple of years ago was I started taking notes. And this is a table full of notes I took. Okay, let me give you an idea of what we're going to cover in the course. We're going to cover from the beginning of life on Earth up until now. How are we going to do that? Well, obviously what we're going to have to do, Ben, could you put up that zigzaggy thing, please? What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to pick and choose. Okay, so this is the poster, I guess, that we advertised with, and this is the beginning, and this is us now. Now, as you can see, this isn't life on Earth. This is how we got to be human, right? And I did say that in the poster, you know, how we got here. And there's two reasons for the accent on humans. One is that 99% of all the life that ever lived has gone extinct, but we're still here, so that's something to celebrate. And the other thing is that we're more important. I'm sorry to say that. I know that's not a popular sentiment to say, because a lot of people are trying to make the point, and I totally understand where they're at. We're not the only life form, we just act like it, right? It's that total selfishness and blindness. I completely get it. My point is this, that as humans, we're the ones that are wrecking it, and we're the only ones that can fix it. Nothing else. I don't care how smart dolphins are, or killer whales are, or wolves are, or octopus are. They're not nearly as smart as us, and they're not going to get us out of this mess. So, we're going to start with the beginning of life, and I guess probably end with us here as people. But I mean, on the way, it's the journey that's the fun, right? So just because we're not related to dinosaurs, like, I can see that probably I should have. Whoops. Okay, well, let's just work around it. You can see looking at this. Now, this is where, unfortunately, I can't read that, but okay, this is Tiktaalik. I can tell him. So that was discovered 375. That's 375 million years old, and it was discovered in Canada in 2006. So that's the fish from which we descended. Now that's 375 million years ago. This would be 415 million years ago. So we'll be starting up here at 4.54, the beginning of Earth, and working our way down to the present. And we'll be looking at what I think are the most interesting things. And also, the most interesting, thanks, son, it's my lecture, so I get to choose what I think is most interesting, right? And also most representative. So, I mean, if we're going to do the Mesozoic, we got to do dinosaurs because they were the dominant life form, right? And everybody loves them. It would be stupid not to. They're not related to us. We haven't been related to dinosaurs since 320 million years ago. 320, that should be right down here somewhere. But we'll be looking at all the stuff. Like there's a great big mass extinction in here. That's really cool. And there's a snowball Earth up here and another one down here. And then there's the K2 extinction down here where the dinosaurs went extinct. So lots of stuff to look at. I think it should be a lot of fun. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Why am I doing it? I've already told you. Mark Twain said there are two reasons we do everything. The reason we tell other people and the real reason, okay? So the reason I should tell you, and it's true, is that science is under attack. A lot of people, for whatever reasons, either prefer not to believe it or try to falsify it. So I think it's time to defend it. I believe it. I love science. The other thing is that I'd rather talk about this than anything else, and that's the real reason. So there you go. So what we're going to do then, we'll work our way through. Want to emphasize the fact that everything changes. So this is about evolution. That's what that is. That's evolution. So it's kind of ironic because I'm going to use the Bible as a prop. I used to teach this. Isn't that funny? I mean, here am I. I'm talking about a course. It's nothing about evolution. It's nothing but evolution. I used to teach the Bible. Why not? This is the King James Version. It's the only thing ever put together by a committee that turned out beautifully. But my point here is that God says in chapter 1, verse 3 of Genesis, let there be light. So that's what we're going to talk about. Then, 14 verses later, he gets around to putting the sun in the sky. So we'll be talking about that kind of stuff too. But in between the first light and the first sun, there's quite a story. So it's that gap that we're going to be covering tonight. Now, I gave this lecture to Denise a couple of weeks ago, and we both decided that besides all the stuff about expansion and inflation and Heisenberg uncertainty principles, that we should probably include a few people. Because this is a story, right? What makes a story? You've got to have characters. And I don't care, us people, we really care about other people. That's what we care about probably more than anything else. So we got to put some people in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the science, and simultaneously we're going to look at the people who created the science, because what we're going to be covering tonight is we're going to be covering the Big Bang. I can't just start at Earth.